Hey, good morning everyone. How's it going? So, what am I working on now? Well, I've got this older, I think it's an 86 Chevy pickup truck with a 350 in it, and I verified it's a 350. Person bought this thing disassembled, well, partially disassembled. The only thing we had to do was put a starter in it. Apparently there were some issues with the starter beforehand. I got this thing, there's not even a transmission in it. I got to put a transmission in it, turbo 350. Basically all we got to do is get it cranking and put the transmission in it, or put the transmission in it and get it cranking. But supposedly there was an issue with the starter, and I found that the starter itself was all messed up when I bench tested it. So I just put a new starter in it. I still have to measure it, and that's what I want to show you guys too, is how to measure one of these things. The flywheel, I keep wanting to call it a flywheel, it's a flex plate, and that drives some people nuts when I call them flywheels. Who cares? You know what I'm talking about. A flywheel is technically for a standard shift car, and a flex plate is for an automatic car. Regardless. Irregardless. So, I got the starter in place, I got the flywheel back in, flex plate back in place, and I had the battery on charge overnight. I got the tranny ready to go in it. Like I said, this thing's kind of a mess, and luckily we don't have to get it running. It's just doing those few things, getting it back together. One thing I wanted to show you real quick was this. Like I said, I had the battery on charge all night. I had the battery actually disconnected on the negative side because that's how it came in. I just hooked the negative back up, but I want to show you this. A lot of times when you get battery cables, see how that fits around the post there? Okay. The post itself is tapered, smaller on the top, obviously. The cables should be tapered also if they're a quality cable. This one actually is. It's tapered. See how nice the fit is? I didn't do this, but look at how the fit is there. It doesn't fit correctly. That's because this is the bottom. This is the taper. The taper, it's larger on this end. So if you think about it, this thing's only making contact in a small range. Right now, what's down at the bottom here, compared to this one, which is making contact the full range of the actual battery post. This one's not. So I'm gonna have to flip that later. Now, just to show you the quality of the work that's been done to here. Yeah, we got that. We got that. This is how I got it. As you can see, looking down there, there's no transmission in it. I have a temperature gauge just laying here. This truck actually wouldn't be bad. This truck actually wouldn't be bad. It'd be kind of cool, actually. It's not rotted. It just needs a lot of love. But yeah, so like I said, just got to get it cranking. I'm not too worried about anything else at this point. At least I don't have to worry about getting it started. But I'm going to put this thing up in the air and going to look at measuring out the starter and at making sure that everything's engaging correctly. Excuse me. Because I don't know if you've ever heard on a GM, an older Chevy small block, or a big block, or some V6s, the way the starter mounts, the ones that take shims, sometimes you go to crank it and you hear like it makes a heck of a noise. There's actually a way to measure that, and the way they tell you to do it is it's a little funky, but let me put this up in the air. I'm going to show you how to measure it. I have the battery connected for a reason. I'm going to show you that. But yeah, let's do that. Let's get this thing up in the air, and let me show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so we're up in the air now, and I'm going to show you the back side of this whole thing. And here you go. It's nice and easy because the transmission's out of it. Transmission, exhaust, a whole 9 yards. Somebody had left a flywheel bolt out. I've just replaced all the flywheel bolts. I don't know if I mentioned that before. But here's the new starter I just installed. Now the measurement that they're talking about, and you can't do this on all of them. Some of them have a full bell housing. So it's kind of like a trial and error thing. You know, do you need a shim or don't you? But what you want to do is take a 1/8 Allen key or a drill bit. I just happen to have a 1/8 Allen key. A lot of new starters or reman starters will actually come with this. And they'll tell you that you have to measure it, but the way they tell you is very awkward. But anyway, what they're looking for you to do is if you look in there, you see the shaft right there, that right there, that the gear slides on. What you're going to do is you're going to take the Allen key and you're going to go in between the flywheel and that shaft. And this fits good. It's actually got a perfect fit. If it was too tight and you couldn't get in there, then you're going to want to add shims to it. Alright guys, so when I went to edit this video, I realized I messed up in what I was saying. I had something completely backwards. I deleted it out of the video, but in the video what I said was if you couldn't get a gauge in there or some type of, or that Allen key or a drill bit or 1/8 whatever in there to measure distance, I said if you can't get one in, this is what you do. What I meant to say was if there's a gap and you have no shims, how do you reduce the gap? Well, the way you reduce the gap is you take a shim and cut it and just go to the outside hole, and what that'll do is that'll actually tip the starter in closer to the actual flywheel. I said it completely backwards, not sure why I did, but anyway. So that's it. If you have too much, if you have way too much gap and you need to get rid of it and you don't have any shims, and that'll make a lot of noise too. Either way, if it's too tight, it'll make a lot of noise. If it's too loose, it'll make a lot of noise. So if it's too loose, if you put shims to the outside or even very thin wall washers, which I actually technically prefer it because if you use the shim, they can walk. Technically they shouldn't, but I've seen it where they walk, or somebody goes to tighten it and it's actually touching the flywheel, stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, trim the shim or put some washers in there, and then remeasure. But yeah, okay, so on with the video. Flywheel. So, why do I have the battery connected while I'm doing this? Here we go. Got the battery connected. I have a trigger set up here because what I want to do is I want to crank it. Okay. It's going to sound louder than it should because there's no torque converter hanging on there. The torque converter will act like a damper on the flywheel. So this thing should sound absolutely fine when it's cranking. So really all I gotta do is I have to install this tranny here, this Turbo 350. One of the guys here had, I guess, rebuilt this at some point, and it was just waiting to go back in. Okay, and so the compressor came on too, so I had to end that part of the video. What I was gonna say was that's pretty much it. Originally we weren't gonna get this truck running, but now I have it all together, and I turned the key just to hear it crank, and the darn thing started immediately, like before one full revolution of the key. It actually started. So kind of surprised me. But I have the whole thing together. Here, that's how this thing came. So it's all together. And it's missing a couple of things. Like it's supposed to be a spring-loaded bushing in here. It's not there. Like I said, I'm putting this together from what I had. So, but now, as it turns out, since I did get it started, the guy wants to see if we can get it running better. Okay, it does run. I don't have to mess with that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get it running better. Maybe adjust the carburetor, stuff like that, because the guy said he had no idea how to adjust the carburetor. It actually sounds pretty decent. I had it running with open headers at first, quite loud. But it doesn't sound like a stock motor. So anyway, that's pretty much it. If you're getting something out of my videos, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. If you look down in the description on the video, you'll see I have links to Amazon products, and they're Amazon products that I personally use. It's stuff that I recommend. All I'm asking you to do is click on it. I'm not asking you to buy anything. Clicks do help me. It shows traffic and stuff like that for future endeavors. And that's about it. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.